and a 3 and a 2 and a 1. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody.
And
Welcome to
everyone.
another edition of the Astound Yourself dating show. My name is Richard Francois. I am your dating strategist. I am half of the hosting committee for the show. And with me tonight, as most nights, is none other than our illustrious co hostess and intuitive matchmaker. What is your name, illustrious co hostess?
My name is Elaine Saunders.
You heard
The
it right here. Her name is Elaine Swandas.
Saunders. How we said it in New York.
That's right, Swandas.
Saunders.
Now, why did I play that song? Well, we're going to get to that. We have a really special guest for you tonight. Stick around for that. If you're somebody who likes visualization or wants to create a vision for yourself, oh, we've got something
Great
juicy
guess.
for you. Elaine, tell us how you found this guest who I'm so excited to have on our show tonight.
Well, Richard, how did I find you?
Networking.
Yes, through networking. My
Right.
favorite thing. One of my favorite things is to network, to connect to other people, to expand my web of people that I know who could grow my life into a more wonderful existence. And that's exactly what Steve Gamlin did when I met him. He absolutely added value to my life the instant I met him. He is a vibrant individual with a wonderful personality. He is a wise man. He has got lots of great things to say, and I could absolutely say he's changed my life for the better with just sharing of ideas. He's got lots of great things to say, and I'm so happy to have him on our show tonight. And so
Awesome.
without further ado, I'd like to introduce Steve Gamlin, the Motivational Firewood Guy. He's a
All right,
speaker. Yep.
Steve.
Yeah, he's multi-talented. He's a speaker. He's an author. He's a stand-up comedian. I can't even name all the things that are on his resume. Maybe he could help me out. Hi, Steve.
Hey,
All
Elaine,
right,
how are you?
Steve.
And Richard, nice to meet you as well.
Yeah,
Hi.
we've known each other a while now, right?
We have, oh gosh, it's got to be at least 12, maybe almost 15 years or so from back in our networking days.
Yeah, we know each other a while. You were one of the first people I met, I think, when I kind of pulled up to New Hampshire. When I pulled
Yeah.
up the truck.
Yep.
I think Kevin Willett might have introduced us at one of his networking meetings. So
Very likely. Very
yeah,
likely.
he's introduced me to so many nice people, and you were definitely one of the key people. I'm going to say one of the people that influenced my career the most, or my life, not just my career, but my life.
I'm honored. Thank you very much for saying that. If you put macaroni and glitter around that introduction you just gave me, my mom would hang it on her fridge. It was that good.
Macaroni and glitter. I was just about to say yummy, but then glitter, I don't know about eating glitter, but
What about
Maybe
the
not.
Elmer's glue?
macaroni
Oh,
and
yes.
glitter sounds good. Well, Steve, I'm
Awesome.
really excited to have you on. I had a chance to chat with you a little bit before we officially started the show. A
Mhm.
motivational firewood. What is that? What is a motivational firewood, Steve? Tell everyone.
Very early in my speaking career, I attended a National Speakers Association of New England meeting, and it was my first time there. So I had what I always called the blue badge of shame. You know, they just write your name
Oh,
on it, doesn't have business or anything. It's just, oh, you're Steve. Welcome to the meeting. And a gentleman named Don said, well, you know, it's your first time here. What do you do? I said, well, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. Great. What sets you apart? I said, I want to help people. He said, well, we all want to help people. What makes you different? What makes you unique? What are you bringing to this that maybe sets you apart from everyone else? And he asked me several times before I finally said, look, Don, if people are paying to come hear me speak, they've got a spark of something in their heart, whether it's hope or a goal, dream, desired outcome, whatever. If I share a story, a lesson, a tip, a tactic, a strategy, and they wake up the next day and they take that spark and what I said and added to it, I said, it's kind of like I gave them motivational firewood. And he just said, hold on. Do you know anything about trademarks? I said, not a clue. He said, I love that concept. It's different. It's unique. He goes, you know what I love the most though? watching your face, you just lit up when you shared that. He said, go pursue that, young man. So I invested about $1,200 and I've owned the trademark on that phrase ever since.
Very cool.
You literally
Motivational
own it.
firewood.
I own it.
You
Legally,
own it.
I own that. And because what I tell people is, look, I can't, and I go all TV preacher on them. I said, I can't change your life, but I can give you some information that if you take action on it, blend it with something that you really want to go out there and achieve or become or have, or a place you want to go, then together we've created fire. I just provide the firewood. You've got the spark.
Awesome.
True.
That's excellent. That's excellent. That's just a great description of it. And I think that most people could use a motivational firewood person in their life at some point in their life. Maybe not today, maybe not all the time, but I imagine almost everybody at some point has had a moment in life where they could have definitely used motivational firewood to get them through something or to get them to expand on something that they really want to happen. So that's really really awesome. Really cool to have you on, Elaine. What's the first thing you want to find out from Steve?
Well, I would like to talk to Steve about what we talk about. We talk about relationships, and so many people come to us or search and seek out ways to change their current situation. And I'm a big believer of having a vision and having a belief system in things you want to achieve. And then if you don't believe that you can be or accomplish certain things, that you're not going to be able to accomplish them. I know when I rolled into town and I decided that I was going to be the local matchmaker, that if I didn't think I could do it, I wouldn't have done it. It wasn't a question of if I was going to do it or how I was going to do it. I just set out to do it. I had a vision. This is who I was going to be. And I did it. And a lot of that, like I had to say, I have to thank Steve, just the vision, having a vision and putting certain steps forward. So with a relationship, I'd like Steve to share a story about his own relationship if he can or will. Would you mind?
I would. Oh my gosh, I never mind doing this. And the funny part is sometimes people will say, "Hey, Steve, can you tell that story about how you and your," I always call her my Tina, how you and your Tina got together and fell in love. And I always answer with a bit of advice I got from a gentleman named James Malinchak. Never tell a story, relive a story, because your audience knows the difference. So if anybody out there who wants to be a speaker, just remember, don't tell stories, relive stories. And anytime I get to relive the story of me and my Tina, oh, it's a win for me. It's a great thing. She rolls her eyes a lot, but I love sharing the story. She's a gold medal Olympian eye roller, and sometimes it's the side eye and it rolls. But she always says, "Aren't you sick of that story yet?" I said, "No,
I'm not.
No, people
But
pay
it's
me a lot of money
classic.
to share that story in
So
front of
tell
hundreds
us,
of people
tell
on a
us, tell us.
stage.
What's the story?
Yeah.
I want to hear
Well,
it.
about 20 years ago, I decided in my infinite wisdom, after working 15 years worth of hours in 10 in the radio industry, plus owning my own DJ business. So I was working 6-7 days a week. I was absolutely fried, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was just fried. And I walked away from my radio career in my early 30s. And in a very quick succession of events, my first marriage ended. I was $62,000 in debt at age 35, crawled home busted, and lived at my dad's house for a while. And I decided, okay, I don't want to be like one of those people who you see on Facebook now. It's, I'm in a relationship, and I'm in a relationship. The next day, I chucked him to the curb. I'm single. The day after that, in a relationship. I didn't want to be one of those people. I wanted to just buckle down and really work out and kind of catch my breath a bit and really do some work on who I was and the ultimate version of myself. Now, this is right about the time I started to get into and learn about the law of attraction, visualization, and get the basics down. And so I worked on myself for about 3 years, a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of introspection, and just being alone on purpose to really evaluate who I wanted to become. And in January of 2007, I made that year's vision board. And it was just in my head. I said, this year I'm going to meet her, whoever she may be. And I put pictures on my vision board of couples enjoying the type of relationship that I wish to enjoy. Standing at the railing of a ship, at sunset, walking hand in hand on the beach. A gentleman was piggybacking his wife, girlfriend, through a brook so she wouldn't get all wet, and they were laughing, and all the romantic ended, types events in a relationship, because that's who I am. I'm a hopeless, helpless romantic at heart. And so I started to actually picture the type of relationship I wanted to have. And in early June that year, I wrote in my journal, I am ready to fall in love. And 10 days later, I got an email that I almost deleted the day it arrived, but I, for some reason, didn't throw it out. The next day I opened it up. It was from someone named Tina. And when I opened it and read it, I realized, oh my gosh. It's from a girl named Tina I went to high school with. Hadn't seen her or spoken to her at that point in just over 21 years since graduation. And I had a crush on her for 3 years in high school, but never asked her out because I didn't have the guts to. And here she was 21 years later, sending me an email from 1,300 miles away, where she was living at the time, was in Florida. And I answered back, and oh my gosh, how are you? Great to hear from you. And she said, we should keep in touch. And she emailed back her number. A couple of days later, I called. And the first words out of her mouth after 21 years were the beautifully sarcastic tones of, it's about time you call. And I just thought, oh my gosh, she has not changed at all. She's like that same sarcastic, just beautiful person. And over the next month, sight unseen, she didn't even have a social media footprint, nor would she send me a picture of herself. So over the course of the next 4 weeks, text, email, and phone calls, I started to remember how much I cared about Tina. In almost a month to the day, I was DJing at a wedding where I wasn't technically scheduled to be, but another DJ got sick and I had to fill in. So we know I was supposed to be there, but I wasn't scheduled to be. And during dinner at this particular wedding, she sent me a text, and she's going to kill me for saying this, but she was enjoying a glass of wine in a bubble bath down in Florida. And she texted me, can I tell you something if you promise not to freak out? And I texted back, sure. And then she said, here's how I really felt about you in high school. Here's how I felt the day I saw your name online, the day you answered the email, and the day I heard your voice. I love you. So I give her credit for being the brave one first, and I typed right back, I love you too. Wow. And actually, there was a 5-minute gap between me texting back because the event coordinator came over and said, hey, we have to go cut the cake. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm leaving a very emotionally vulnerable woman in a tub 1,300 miles away.
Hold, please.
And I'm like, Bride cuts the cake, feed, here you go, kiss. Okay, I got to get back to this. So I texted her, I said, I love you too. And we recently celebrated our 14th anniversary this past summer.
Absolutely amazing.
And I've told her, if you ever end our relationship, just know you're going to demolish my speaking career. So I love you.
There'd be lots of love there.
Wow.
Oh, every day. First thing every morning, my feet, whoever's alarm goes off first, that person's foot reaches for the other person's foot. We touch feet every single morning. And even if I'm asleep, she says, I still go, when our feet touch. That's my first smile of every day.
Sweet. So sweet.
Of everything you just said, as moving and as touching as that was, I'm stuck on one thing. True. How did she get your email?
She saw me, I think she said it was originally on classmates.com or something like that, or saw my name out there, and she Googled me. And I mean, we've been together 14 years. Maybe 6 months ago, I asked her again. I said, I don't remember if you said this or not, but why did you even look me up to reach out to me? And she said, well, I saw your name and I Googled you. She goes, oh my gosh. The kid who used to sit behind me and hide in math class so the teacher wouldn't call on him because I was very shy back then.
Yeah.
Was on the radio, is doing stand-up comedy, is a motivational speaker. She goes, I had to see if it was really you.
Wow.
That's how she went online, found my website, got my email address, and reached out to me.
There you go, everybody. If you're looking for a reason to make something of yourself, you just found one. It's not too late.
Well, if it helps,
could be watching.
if it helps, I read a book a while ago, and it was about loves from around the age of high school years, teenagers, first loves, and things of that nature that had reconciled or reconnected or rekindled their their crush later on in life, whether it had been 20, 30, 40, and even into like elderly people who had lost their spouse after a long marriage, like they're in the nursing home and they looked up an old lover and rekindled later in life, and they said those reunited, rekindled relationships were the best, most successful, most enduring, most satisfying love relationships that people can experience on earth. Those that were established or sparked from that innocent age before all that craziness happened in between. So to go back, that's sweet. That's really sweet. So you could probably rest assured that's you're getting to experience that special type of love from almost childhood. That's awesome.
Yeah. And she's stuck with me forever now. We practically read each other's minds.
Yeah.
We
That's
really
awesome.
do. And that's an amazing gift. And we got to be featured in a Reader's Digest special summer romance edition a few years ago. I've been invited onto the Oprah Radio Network back in right around 2008, 2009 to share our story 4 times.
Wow, that's cool.
So I keep telling her, you can't end this.
No, you guys are kind of stuck. Yeah.
You got to tolerate. You're stuck with me forever now.
So do you give advice? Do you has anybody in your realm that you've worked with, do you tell them to do actual physical vision boards to bring themselves into a relationship that they're hoping? Because I tell people, that it's a visual thing, but I've never had anybody like sit down and cut out. I've done vision boards for life in general. I've done one about 4 years ago, and so many things that I taped up to that little vision board has happened to me that recently I was invited to another vision board party, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'll be happy to stick up all the stuff that I'm looking. It worked once. Why wouldn't it work again? Sure,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Yeah,
But
it's funny because I have an opinion on the vision board parties that most people have out there. When you lead into your event with the marketing where it says, hey, we're going to have a vision board party. We're going to have wine, cheese, crackers, scissors, glitter, glue sticks. I said, first off, you know what? Wine and scissors are probably not a good combination. Although if you got the glue stick, you can put your eyebrow back on, which is nice. I've actually got a t-shirt line, and on the back of it, there's a big stop sign, and it says, friends don't let friends attend vision board parties.
oh, okay. All right.
But now that being said, it's something. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions are to the world of really well-calculated goals. It's something. It's an
Something better
effort.
than nothing. Yeah.
And it's better than nothing. What I suggest to people, and the way I do this with the vision boards, and again, everything I share is just the way that has worked for me. I don't claim to have the answer for everybody. Everything I teach is straight out of my notes, because I took a lot of notes from the darkest points in my life to, people say you rose like the mighty phoenix. I said, back it up there. My phoenix rides a pogo stick. So it's been in and out of the fire, and I've scorched my tail feathers off a couple of times, but everything I share is just what's worked for me. So the way I work with the visualization is I use a life wheel that I've kind of adapted. It's a pretty standard thing out there. I work with 8 major categories: career, finances, your physical health, your emotional well-being, your relationships, your ethics and morals, your spirituality and faith, and your connection with the real world. And what I tell people is all these things are working together all the time. So whatever you have for a vision, make sure it applies and it fits into everything else you're doing in your overall goal and your style. And, don't say you want $1 million if you're not going to get off the couch and go buy a ticket, basically.
Right.
A lot of
so
it
I say,
taken. Yes.
exactly. Start thinking of the type of relationship you wish to enjoy. What does that person look like? What are their interests? Where do they hang out? Are they close with their family? Are they kind of, prefer to be private people? Do they like to go to the beach? And I talk to so many people that say, Steve, I wish I could find someone like you have with Tina. I said, well, you've been single for a while, you're making an effort. I go to the bar like every single night, and I can't find that perfect partner. Now, there's nothing
You
wrong with
can't
going
find
to
a
bars.
quality person in a bar? I'm
Yeah, I know,
shocked.
right? I know, even at,
I am
at,
shocked.
at last call. But and I say, well, what type of person you want to meet? Well, I want to meet somebody who's really nice and is kind to people and is close to their family and likes to do volunteering and this and that. I said, well, okay,
The bar is a good
nothing
place.
against people in the bar, but that might not be the best place. Why don't you go volunteer at an animal shelter or at a church if your spirituality and faith are important to you? Why don't you go volunteer and just be where that person will most likely be? But you got to have that vision first of who you want that person to be. And then you got to put yourself in the right place. And you got to give yourself, Elaine, you talked about mindset earlier, people who say, well, I want this, but I don't know. I don't know if I deserve it or if I'm good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, whatever enough, confident enough.
Right.
Our mindset, it's a minefield, and we can take ourselves out of the game so quickly. And I used to be so self-deprecating all the time. I put myself down always.
Right.
Yeah.
Before other people could, I'd tap dance in a landmine field.
Well, you could smell that a mile away. It's
Yeah.
that the fear. It's like that. It's like an animal senses fear.
Yeah.
And
So, Steve, I want to ask you something. Do you have a vision board handy that you can show our audience and tell
I
us what
actually
it's all
do.
about?
Let me see if I
While
got
you
enough
do that,
cord here.
if it's not close by, I'm gonna go ahead and just say hello to the people who said hello, who
Sure.
commented. You can take a moment and find it. Well,
Yep,
first
I've
of
got
all,
it right
I
here.
want to say hello to Tammy Lambert, who's in the house. Tammy, I think Tammy's on the show more than you and I, Elaine. Tammy is always here. We can count on her. Hi, Tammy. Carla is
she's the
somebody else
best.
who's always here. Well, hello, Carla. Renee, I don't remember if you've seen it before, Renee. So if
I
this is
think
your
I've
first
seen
time
Renee
comment,
before. Hi, Renee.
welcome
So
back.
Renee Lynn.
Yvonne or Ivan. I don't know how you like to pronounce your
Ivan.
name. I think it's Ivan.
Ivan.
Hi, Ivan. And I think we also have a couple of questions or comments to respond to. Let's see here. Let me scroll back down. Something we said made Ivan put this emoji down. I think this is noteworthy. I think this was when you were sharing about how you met your Tina.
Tina. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That
Yeah.
story just really blew Ivan's mind. Also, same for Carla. Carla said, "Oh my gosh," and then said, "Wow." And Tammy got goosebumps from the story. Where is that? Let's see. There we go. Tammy got goosebumps.
Wow. I'm honored by
And
that. See, Tammy gets goosebumps, and when I tell it here at the house, I get an eye roll. So I still actually get
you
goosebumps.
can't be a prophet in
when I
your
tell
own
that
land.
story. I still get goosebumps when I tell the story. So I'm reliving it.
Because you
Yeah,
live, you
that's
relive it.
that's affirmation that it's
Yeah.
the real deal, man.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
one thing here, see one more. So Renee says that she is a big believer of vision boards, but I never thought about a romantic partner vision board. Well, you are welcome, Renee. Go do that romantic partner vision board. Put them out of their misery, because you're not putting them on the vision board. The universe is not bringing you together. So go put that vision board together right now, and then your romantic partner will start finding their way towards you. There, you are
Well, I think
welcome.
it's a good idea to put on the vision board places where you would like to go with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have I've never been to Europe, and I don't want to go alone. I think that would be such a beautiful romantic trip to take with a special partner, with a special person, to Europe, Paris, Rome, Italy.
I can attest to the fact that it works, because as I'm thinking about it, my girlfriend Heather has a vision board on her bedroom door. And one of the things she has on there is is a picture of a woman hiking with a partner. I'm pretty sure she has one of those on there.
And guess what Richard does?
I go
Often.
hiking with Heather.
Nice.
And it's not because I
that.
love hiking. It's because I like Heather a lot, and it's nice when she smiles. And hiking makes her smile, so that's why I do it. I probably would not go hiking by myself on purpose, but
Yeah.
Her
And she
vision
had
board
that
works
vision.
on me. Darn it.
did.
That vision board. Ah, there you have
Darn
it.
vision board.
Yep.
What else
Even
can we
worse
put
for
on that
people who
vision?
don't
I'm
know
gonna,
about it.
yeah. What's next? What else is she gonna slap up on that vision board?
Give her any ideas.
Yeah.
Heather,
No,
where's
don't.
my phone? Let me
So
send her a
that's not
text.
your vision
Oh,
board.
you're too
Pay
busy.
attention, class. Get out your pencils and start taking notes about what Steve is going to share with us. So why don't we give Steve the entire screen, Carla, so Steve can share the vision board with everyone.
Yeah, I've actually got the physical thing here, so I'll hold it up in front of the camera.
Nice.
This is one from a couple of years ago. Now, this was very important to me. Right up here at the top, daily gratitude. Now, that's something that is so important to me
Yes.
because, you know, and I'll give you 2020 as the perfect example. Now, I've been doing this now for about 10 years. Every morning, pen to paper, I have a gratitude journal I keep under the back of my laptop. So when I get in my office in the morning, pull out that journal, flip open my laptop, grab a pen, I write the date, and I write the words good stuff. And then 1, 2, 3, in less than a line each, I have to describe and connect emotionally as much as possible in less than one line. My 3 favorite moments from the previous day. And not broad brushing, not saying I'm thankful for my house, my job, my family. You can write that on the first day, but you can't repeat it on the next day. So I go with 3 favorite moments from any given day. And the weirder, the better. Because the way I describe them, and I've proven this. I proved this live on a show one time when I had one of my journals here, and somebody said, but Steve, it's real nice that you do that, but does it impact you down the line? I said, okay. I opened up my journal and I just started laughing. And I remembered something from 6 years prior from one line that I wrote. And when you stack these up, and then at the end of the year, when somebody says, Steve, how was your year? I said, well, let me see. I wrote down 978 reasons why it was a good year. So it was a good year. In the year 2020, you say 2020 to people and they go, oh, big steaming pile of garbage, right? That's what a lot of people say about 2020. Now, it was not an easy year for me. Both my businesses that I own are event-based. I took about a 90% revenue hit last year, but I wrote down just under 1,000 really positive moments. That's what I choose to focus on. So I intentionally start every single day by being grateful for 3 things that happened the previous day. It could be conversations. I guarantee you tomorrow morning, my first gratitude is going to be being part of this broadcast. It's just what it's going to be. And I'm going to remember it for a long time, the way I describe it. So that's one of the things on the board. This little guy here, this little dog, his name was Super Teddy.
Loved
and
him.
Right about the time that I made this board, I also wanted to write my next book. And that was the year that Super Teddy wrote his own book. He guest starred at the tail end of one of my books called Oh Yay, Another Quote Book. He got 3 quotes at the end, and everybody said, hey, Steve, we love Super Teddy's quotes. When's he going to have his own book? So that year, that was part of the goal. So he did come out with his own book. It was called Bust Out of Your Crate, Super Teddy's Top 20 Tips for People to Be as Happy as Dogs. That came off that
I'm
year's
inspired
vision
now.
board.
If Super Teddy can write a book, I think I can too.
Yeah, I know, right? People always said, and here's the thing. You want to sell a lot of copies, put a cute dog on the cover because he outsold anything with my face on it.
Two things that sell well, cute dogs and anything with a French word.
Oh, yes, exactly.
You have to wake up Rev. Rev, wake up, you lazy dog. Wake up.
So throughout the board, it's just a
that.
bunch of different things related to all those different areas of my life. The recording sign, my recording studio right there, because I've now built a new recording studio. Sunrises and sunsets I love. You see right in there the thing that says man boobs not sexy. Actually, this was the board from 2017 because that was my workout plan for that year. I said,
nice.
I've got to get back into working out, to eating better, to sleeping well, to really taking care of myself. And somebody said, well, you got to give it a name like a mission. They said, why do you want to do that? And I just looked them in the eye and said, because man boobs are not sexy. And they laughed. So I called it the Man Boobs Not Sexy Workout Tour of 2017. My goal was to do 100 gym visits, 100 workouts that year, which was more than the previous 5 years combined. And I did 104 that year.
Wow.
And it,
That is
it just became the
awesome.
stuff of legend. People
Goals.
wanted to buy T-shirts that said "Man, boobs not sexy." I said,
That's
"Well, I don't know if I can quite say that on a T-shirt, but
Yeah, you say that
all
today,
these
you're
little,
definitely gonna get somebody on your case about it.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Somebody might beg to defer.
Someone's gonna get
yep."
on your case about it. But
But
mine are
all these
different.
things, all the different parts of my life, the career, the finances, physical health, emotional well-being, relationship, there's always parts of here, me and Tina. And there's a picture of us from one of the very first times we were together.
Oh,
There's
look at
us
that.
right there. For my Tina,
Actually
love
you.
you very, very. She's on there in her sunglasses. There's a picture of a barn right there, which has been on my vision board since the very first one. And now behind me is $74 worth of barn board. And it was my dad's genius idea right around 2012. My first studio was in his home. And he said, "Bud, I know you want to build the barn someday. We don't have the land for it, but why don't we go to a sawmill and get some fresh cut barn board and make that part of the wall of your recording studio to get that feel?" And it cost $74.
Well, and with the parts shortage, it's probably worth 5,000 now.
Right now it is. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I don't throw out any little pieces of wood. I
Got-
reuse everything. I repurpose everything now.
Behind your head alone is $300 worth.
Easily now. Oh yeah. I'd have to get financing if I wanted to buy this now and redo it. But see, all pieces and parts of my life, they fit together as one complete picture. And that's what I recommend for people. What do you want your life to look like, feel like, sound like, be like? Who are you going to have to become? What are you going to have to learn? Where are you right now as compared to where you want to go? Because you got to have those 2 points for GPS. Got to know where you are now, where you want to go for it to plot out the best course. And the most important thing you need to know for any goal you ever set is why. And your first thought is probably not going to be right. You got to dig it a little bit. You got to get that reason that's in your gut, not your brain, because your gut is what's going to keep you going when the brain tries to talk you out of stuff, when your mindset is off.
Right.
You really want something and you know why you want it. You're going to keep plowing forward no matter what. And it's like the gas in your tank. So all of these things are really important to not, and I know I was kind of slamming, making fun of vision board parties earlier. The challenge I have with them is nobody really does the pre-work. Everybody shows up, cuts up magazines, puts them on a board. Hey, that's great. But when I ask people, what's the story behind this picture? I don't know. I thought it was cool. Okay, let's dig a little deep. Exactly. You got to be emotionally connected to everything you want. Otherwise, if the wind blows the wrong way, if something comes up in your life and interrupts you, you're going to be like a Roomba. You're going to bump up against something gently and you're going to back up and go somewhere else.
Yes, I call it pinball commitment because the pinball goes wherever it gets hit to go to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
This makes me think of something. At one point, I did 2 sets of vision boards. I did, I'll just call it a negative, like an anti-vision, which was the things that were really annoying me, and particularly in dating. I did a board just to get all of that out of my being, just like spew it out and get it on paper. And I wrote on the back the complaints that I had. I just got all that out. And then I did a new one of how I wanted things to be. I don't know if you've ever known anybody to do that, just to get the garbage out first and then create a vision board for the new stuff. And if anybody who's single and is struggling with that, would love to tell us how you do that experiment. Please go and do a vision board of the things you don't like now with all the emotion attached to it. Just get out of the way and then creating a new one of how you want things to be and see how that turns out. I wish we could talk to you for another hour, Steve, and our time is already up for tonight.
Wow.
That went fast.
Before we say goodbye to Steve, I wanted to say hello to a few other people who commented we didn't get to say hi to. Jamie says hi. So hi, Jamie. Welcome back. Good to see you on the show. And let's see. Claudia also says she loves this. So Claudia, thank you for watching the show. If you didn't watch from the top, go back and watch it. And hopefully, so you don't miss anything. We had a great half an hour with Steve here. And Tammy just gave you an endorsement. Steve, everything you said is 100% true. I hope I'll be able to work on some of these things. I know you will, Tammy. I know you will. So before we go, let's start with our guest, Steve. Steve, tell everybody where they can find you.
Nice and easy. All of my information and materials are available at motivationalfirewood.com. And there's actually a free video there. If anybody goes to motivationalfirewood.com/the as in Victor, I5, VI5, there's actually a free video there that gives the basics of visualization. It's called Visualize in 5, so they can have free access to that.
Excellent. There you go,
Very
everybody.
cool.
Motivationalfirewood.com and go click on that video.
Oh, there's all
Excellent.
the pictures of
Oh,
all my
wow.
clients up there. Oh,
Yes.
my clients are rock stars. They're just out there crushing their
Look at
goals,
this.
and I adore them. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Now, Elaine Swanders, tell everybody where they can find the intuitive matchmaker.
The easiest place to find me is on Facebook, since you know how to find Facebook, since you're watching us right now. So at Dynamic Introductions on Facebook or on the web at www.dynamicintroductions.com.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Elaine. And if you're looking for me, I'm talking to you, Mr. Nice Guy. If you've ever had anybody call you that N word, that is nice, and give you handshakes, would you rather have hugs and kisses? I am the coach for you. I know your plight, good sir. I was once such a nice guy that I was told to give my crush, a ride to work by her boyfriend. And I did it because he didn't want to. He pulled me over on the side of the road, put his girlfriend in my car, and then I drove her to work because he couldn't be bothered. That's how much of a nice guy I was. If I can recover, so can you. So if you're looking to get over your nice guyness and start attracting quality women who just see how wonderful you are, but also respect you, look for me at Astound Yourself Dating, which is here, or go to grichard360.com, Mr. Nice Guy. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. We look forward to seeing you next week, where we'll have another great topic, perhaps another great guest. You'll just have to wait and see, won't you? Dun, dun, dun. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.